Against three men already accused of terror offences after the murder of Curtis Cheng outside Sydney Police Headquarters last year. An 18, 22 and 23-year-old were arrested today and had extra terrorism charges added to their original murder convictions. The teen has now been charged with directing a criminal group, while his co-accused have been charged with the supply of a pistol. The 22-year-old is due to face court tomorrow, the other two next month. The federal government has rejected a request from the United States to send more military help to the Middle East. Defence Minister Marise Payne says Australia won't be sending extra troops to fight Islamic State in Syria and Iraq because the country has already made a big enough commitment to the cause. The Turnbull government was approached by the US Defence Secretary last month, but the US Ambassador to Australia says the decision hasn't disappointed the Americans at all. The bushfires south of Perth in Western Australia have broken the containment lines and pose a risk to homes and lives in many regions. The Department of Fire and Emergency Services says the blaze is threatening Lake Preston, Cookanup and Waroona, urging residents to leave now or prepare to actively defend their property. The out-of-control blaze has already burnt through 162 homes, all but destroying the historic town of Yarloop. Band bomber and skipper Jobe Watson has expressed his devastation following the suspension of 34 past and present players at the club. The World Anti-Doping Agency handed down the shock season-long bans yesterday, rocking the club's foundations. 12 of the 34 banned are in the current playing list and will now be sidelined following the saga from 2012. Watson also runs the risk of having his 2012 Brownlow medal stripped off him and won't be allowed to step foot in the club until November. The Belgium authorities say they have now identified 3 properties used by the Islamic militants involved in the Paris attacks in November. The BBC's Gavin Lee reports. US President Barack Obama has urged Americans to keep the Democrats in the White House for a third straight term in his final State of the Union address. He's entering his last year of presidency, but vows to still continue work on immigration, gun control and equal pay. Mr. Obama says the future is optimistic if they all work together. And 4 Indonesian fishermen have been rescued from a makeshift raft after spending 8 days adrift in the Timor Sea. Updating sport, Fremantle's longest-serving captain, Matthew Pavlich, has stepped down after nearly a decade in the role. The Docker legend announced his relinquishment today, saying it was the right time for a change. The 34-year-old has held the reins since 2007, captaining 189 of his 335 games so far. And it's been a mixed emotion night for the Aussies at the Sydney International, with Bernard Tomic advancing to the quarterfinals, but Sam Stosur being upsettingly knocked out. Stosur struggled to find her rhythm in tonight's clash at Ken Rosewall Arena, while Tomic managed to cement his victory in just under 50 minutes. The 23-year-old says the Sydney International is his favourite tournament and is looking forward to facing his next Russian opponent tomorrow night. And the Hobart Hurricanes have had a shocking night on the pitch, being bowled for 143 by the Adelaide Strikers. The Hurricanes made a promising start, but crumbled under the Strikers' exceptional bowling pressure. In finance, the Dow Jones has opened at 16,516. Oil is worth $31 a barrel. Gold is trading at $1,083 an ounce, and $1 Australian dollar is buying 70.19 US cents. This is Super Network News.